expected to seek out the best. 2 words to describe the activity.
The Yoruba Unity Forum is conducted.
Be the first to know. From the north, south, east, west, and around Africa.
Presidential
we break the news.
Women in Nigeria.
Now you can catch all the actions live as the news breaks. We are Core TV News.
Welcome to Core TV Primetime
News. A 24-hour news station.
Welcome again, and thank you for joining us on Core Digest Monday. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. We're bringing up issues and controversies now ahead 2015 general elections. We'd love to hear your comments. All you need to do is follow us on Twitter at Core Digest Live, where you can drop in your comments, inquiries, and questions as the show continues today. At the proper time, we'll also open the phone lines when you call in, endeavor to keep your comments simple, quite unbiased and objective, and ensure you turn down the volume of your TV set while you're doing so. I'm joined now by public affairs analyst, veteran no doubt, Bola Ogba. Sir, Bola Ogba. I have a way of putting the G at the other part of the name.
No,
good morning.
I'm quite used to your mischief.
Come on, don't go there this morning.
I get punched every time I sit with you on your set.
Oh my.
And you see, good
morning, and thank you for joining us today.
Good morning for the opportunity once again.
Let's start with the issue about the qualification of the APC presidential candidate, Muhammadu Buhari. It started like a joke, but it looks as if it's been institutionalized in the ongoing PDP campaigns. We had Femi Fani-Kayode earlier in our opening remarks talking about why it is important to talk about this issue. Many have said, well, this is the 4th time the old man is contesting. Why is the issue coming up now? But on the other side of the divide, they're saying that if he is known for honesty and anti-corruption, so to speak, why is it taking this long to come out clear, still giving an affidavit for the minimum requirement, the SSE, if this is the 4th time he's actually contesting? What are your thoughts along this line?
I finished secondary school in 1981.
Okay.
I was very honest with you. Where I'm seated now, I don't know the whereabouts of my certificates. I don't, to be honest with you. I did some courses in England. I don't know the whereabouts of the certificates. But can I, if asked for my certificate, legitimately approach a court of law and swear to an affidavit to the effect that I have the certificates that I have, if those certificates were to be, if an independent inquirer were to seek the veracity of the content of my listing? Yes, it's one right I have, in law. If the PDP is so concerned about this issue, they also have a channel in law to either authenticate or disprove the authenticity of Buhari's claim. And that claim and that channel is to approach a court of law and say, we honestly believe that the gentleman is not or does not have the minimum requirement of the law to be a candidate of his party. And between the court, Buhari, and the PDP, who may have sought the listing, the issue will be cleared. But to leave the issue lingering, is that people are seeing some degree of brass knuckle pedestrian politicking at play. There are better issues to be attended to be honest with you. And this morning, on my way to your studio, I read an email that the American War College gave to the effect that Buhari graduated from the American War College in 1980.
The issue right now isn't about the many degrees and the certification he got. The issue is the minimum requirement that he needs is the SSE. But then, Goloba, one would have thought at this time that if the man is contesting for the 4th time, for crying out loud, he had enough time to have gotten this.
Don't even go there. If I have if I have a certificate that indicates that I have a bona fide degree,
okay,
you cannot now be dragging me to be whatever on my school living certificate with you.
Let me ask you this. What if, for instance, your school living certificate was falsified? Does that not entirely rubbish whatever degree you got afterwards?
It's getting interesting now, you know, the dimension you brought into it. If they so believe, if they so genuinely believe, they should approach a court of law. It's easy. But they want INEC to do their dirty job for them. And that is, they want INEC to approach the court of law. And INEC has indicated and has rightfully intimated them that it behoves the PDP that is in doubt of the veracity of the man's claim to approach the court of law. But you see, it tells us that they may not have quite robust ideas to put out there, and that is why they're dragging on this issue of the certificate. Because for me, there are better issues.
Well, what about if you were General Muhammadu Buhari, and indeed you went to school, and you have the SSC that they're asking for, and you have contested in 2003, 2007, 2011, you are contesting again in 2015, would you allow this issue to go on and on? As a matter of fact, the Nigerian military says that there are 2 copies of the certificate, one with the person in question, one with them. That all that is required to get the certificate is to go through a particular process to get it. Would you, as an individual that I know, allow this to linger on because you are saying it's really nothing?
No, Nifemi, I don't know the whereabouts of my certificate. The Nigerian Army came out. The Nigerian Army came out some days ago, more than a week now, to say they had a copy of the certificate. So the copy with the Nigerian Army is not legitimate. Because I've lost my own copy. Now, apart from the fact that the copy, if you are even in doubt of the copy, you know, of the copy with the Nigerian Army, are you in doubt of the veracity of the affidavit I've sworn to? What are we? What's the issue here? You know, let's be very.
You have not answered my question. You're not, and I'm not satisfied with the way you answered it. If you were General Muhammadu Buhari, wouldn't you have given it all it takes, even not for the sake of elections, to have gotten a copy?
No, you keep speaking grammar now. What is the meaning of an affidavit? What is the meaning of an affidavit? What? In law? What is the meaning of something I have lost? But I know I have the fact of it. And I know if you counter-check the facts forever, they'll be consistent with what I've sworn to. And I presented an affidavit. What is the drama about now?
It's all right. Let me just take 1 or 2 calls and hear what the pulse of the people really are on this issue. Hello, good morning. Welcome to Call Digest.
Yeah, good morning.
I need you to turn down the volume of your TV. Can you do that for me?
Yeah.
Okay.
My name is Olumide from Abuja.
Olumide is calling from Abuja. Go ahead with your contribution, please. From Suleja, okay.
Please, good morning, Mr. Motoye.
Good morning.
And good morning, the first person there.
Mr. Goloba.
The question you are asking is irrelevant.
Okay.
Any institution will admit a candidate to read degree without verifying better certificates. This man has went to university, law college, in Nigeria, and you don't please with those things. The man has this certificate. He has lost it. He has sworn to an affidavit. Nigerian Army has come out to tell the whole world that He gave them a copy. If PDP, so to say, wants to claim, let them go to any length, go to court, seek the court's permission, or go to Nigerian Army, the court will give a order, and the army will produce a copy. They have for them. Buhari, as a person, you as a person, you believe you have the thing, and you have done an affidavit.
Okay.
And you have the justice.
But Olumide, are you saying that? Are you there, Olumide? Olumide, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Are you saying that there's anything wrong in General Muhammadu Buhari getting that certificate with the Nigerian military, tendering it to the public, and putting all of these to an end completely? Is there anything wrong in that?
To ask you a question, you as a person, you as a person, you submitted, hello?
I'm with you, Olumide, go ahead. I'm with you, I'm with you.
You submitted copies of your credentials to your school where you are entering school from the beginning.
Okay.
Are you with me?
Yes, I am, I am. Yes, I am.
Okay. By the virtue of transcript or whatever, anything, you lost that copy.
Okay.
The next thing you do is an affidavit. You sort that affidavit. You understand? The only person, even if Buhari himself go to that military to ask for that document, he might not get it. The court of law will put his law, and that will be an evidence for him to go there to say, well, look, I have given you. This is what they have given you to bring. You understand? It is I believe I have this thing. Let them prove beyond reasonable doubt that he doesn't have it. So that is what I mean. Is it
Oh, I'm afraid we lost that, Olumide. You might have to call us back to make a contribution. I'm with you,
as a Nigerian celebrated news anchor person, I guess the PDP is achieving the purpose they want to achieve with this pantomime drama. If somebody like you can be dwelling on it in a program of about 1 hour, can be dwelling on it for this much. I'm telling you, if I mean, you may not know, this is in politics sometimes, if you don't, in politics, as in many areas of life sometimes, if you don't have direction or vision, you will be a master of distraction.
I was going to get there if you will consider this as an issue-based campaign. And I was also going to back it up with the idea that, let's assume, this is an assumption, outright assumption, that the person in question did not or does not have the certificate. Do you agree that that automatically disqualifies him for this particular contest?
If he does not have the minimum requirement of the law, which is a school living certificate, the equivalent of what is today's XXS 3.
That's right.
If it does not, and it does not say you must pass, it just says you must have attended the formal education system up to the school living certificate level. And we have it on record, prima facie record, that the man even attended a higher school than the SSS level in a jurisdiction as respectable as the United States of America. He attended the American War College, which as at then was a degree awarding institution, and which as at year 2000 became a master's degree awarding institution. For God's sake, let's look at issues. I'm an entrepreneur in this market, and I want people to be talking to me about how businesses will prosper in the next 4 years. I want people to be talking to me about ideas of how the economic ecosystem will be so positively energized by ideas coming from the government to engage ideas coming from private sector operatives like me. Please, I don't want to be rude to you, and I don't want to be rude to your organization. The idea of discussing this certificate, would you please, shaking bear, please save me the issue of this certificate?
Well, you are a public affairs analyst, and I don't expect you to come here and choose what you will comment on.
Thank you very much.
If this is an issue being raised on a national discourse, I expect you to just have your opinion on it. But let's take
my opinion on it, to be honest with you, Nifemi, is that this, for me, Bola Oba, does not engage the level of discourse I would love to hear partisans seeking my vote.
Okay.
And the votes of the Nigerian electors to be discussing, given where we are in reality and where we need to be. My brother, the issue of this certificate is very pedestrian. Bola Oba speaking now. That's my opinion.
It's all right.
And I'm not saying, to be honest with you, I think it's about time too. I mentioned that I said this somewhere yesterday, and I was told not to say it the way I said it here, before. For me, the two principal candidates to even start with are not the best I would have wished for this country, intellectually. But you know what? Even within the context of the limitations of the two candidates, I want them to discuss issues that will show me that when I drive around Lagos, the pool of young men I see doing nothing, just standing and discussing English Premiership football. That pool of young men will whittle down because of fantastic human capital development agenda that they have, because we have people who are skilled.
Just a minute, Bella. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. It's Tochukwu from Anambra.
Oh,
Hello, Tochukwu.
I expected he was going to call. Good morning, Tochukwu. How was your night?
Good morning, my brother. This is I'm fine. Good morning, Mr. Boloba.
Good morning, my brother.
Yes. Quickly, I want to say that to be fair, the issue of General Muhammad Buhari's certificate, it should have been treated as a minor case and let's concentrate on the issue-based campaign. But the reason why some of we Nigerians are because in this country we've seen a lot of things. And a lot of things have been happening. And this case not taking a precedence to be set. You now see a situation tomorrow, somebody will be contesting, and instead of the person to present the relevant document as required by law, affidavits will not take the place of certificate. And if you would be fair, you also understand that we've seen a situation whereby people have attained to that height of educational level without having the basic qualification. One way or the other, they've got to their way. I mean, we're in Nigeria. We are in Nigeria, and we have seen a lot of things, especially those who were favored as a result of quota system. So there is no doubt that there is possibility. I don't doubt that there is possibility that somebody from that part of the country must have gotten to the peak of his career without basic qualification. I'm not in doubt of that. But what I'm saying in general is that PDP should please leave the issue of certificates. To me, it has no meaning. Capacity of someone to lead this country. So, but the truth is that it is an issue. We can't just shy away from it because of tomorrow. That is just for me. We cannot just shy away and say, certificate out then let's leave it. No, it's an issue. And we must correct it now so that it will not take the place of certificate. So this is my thought on that.
Fantastic.
Did you hear that?
Fantastic.
Because all it requires now is that somebody will just wake up one day who hasn't gotten the minimum qualification and signs an affidavit and says, this is what I have. And then we will not even be able to prove it beyond what the affidavit says.
Like I said, when the issue of Tamboa happened, I will reiterate the same kind of logic here.
Okay.
When you honestly believe that somebody has not acted in consonance with the dictate of the law, what you do in a rule of law respecting jurisdiction is that you will approach the court. Am I over-dramatizing my point? You will approach the court and say, we honestly believe that this guy, because of social section of the Constitution or because of social area of the electoral law, is not eligible to contest. And the guy will come and say, oh, I've given an affidavit. And the court will say, you know what? Beyond your affidavit, what else can you use as to verify the claim that you have made in your affidavit? Oh, contact, then you can tell the court, please use your power of subpoena to subpoena the Secretary of the Nigerian Army and show the certificate. The opinion of Tochukwu is very legitimate. I am not discountenancing the fact that the opinion of Tochukwu is very legitimate. But instead of elongating this melodrama, somebody ought to have done the right thing, and that is approach the court. let's discuss issue. 30 days to defining.
Hello, good morning. Are you there?
Hello, I'm there.
Welcome to Call Digest Monday.
You said?
Welcome to Call Digest. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I am Tugbe from Akure.
Tugbe.
Yes.
Okay, Tugbe from Akure. How's Akure this morning?
Cool and calm.
Go ahead. Oh, Hamatan is there too?
Yeah, very much.
It's everywhere, my brother. Go ahead with your contribution.
Okay. On the certificate issue, the problem with the PDP is that they do not understand the Nigerian constitution.
Okay. Tugbe, go ahead. Are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Okay.
That's why Nigeria is going backward. If they really understand the constitution stated clearly that you must have attended school certificate, secondary school. It is attended, not that you must present your certificate. And INEC, which is the regulatory body, has came out clearly that it is the roles and responsibility of the political party to screen candidates. That their own role is to accept that candidate, that any role or responsibility to disqualify such candidates. And in as much APC has deemed it fit that General Buhari, by all standards, by the constitutional requirement, is qualified to contest.
I'm afraid we lost that, Otugbe. You will have to call us back from Akure. Thank you very much for your contribution.
Let me revisit Tochukwu's important contribution.
Okay.
Look, in Nigeria today, my own maxim too is in God I trust, everybody else I check out. I tell my workers, when people come and give you check, you know, the nature, one of the businesses I do, or one of the businesses I run, the nature of my clients is such that they will look big, they will look very rich, and they will drive a mighty car. And I tell my clients in human capacity development training that, you know what, don't be fooled by the mien or this atmosphere around somebody. In God you trust, everybody else you check out. But that is consistent with with the submission of Tochukwu. That is, I cannot put it past anybody that they may not have something they claim to have in Nigeria. But you know what? The PDP has the right to approach a court of law.
You see, I was going to pick you up on that because, after all, that's what we say.
But
you're not the only one saying go to court. INEC already also says.
Sir,
just a minute,
jokes apart now. You know, jokes apart now. Nifemi, are you, as a Nigerian, pleased with the issue we are now spending quality time on relative to what you hear in other jurisdictions?
You know why this issue is important, brother?
Okay.
When INEC was asked, INEC also says it's not within our jurisdiction. You will have to approach the judiciary. The last time I checked, Goloba, judiciary workers are on strike. Are you now saying, because after all, we are looking at the moral justification after all. There are still issues pending. That's even another issue for another day. There are issues of aggrieved party members from the fallout of the primary elections. The judiciary is on strike. Are we saying that it is so impossible for someone to just come out of the blues to clear this thing once and for all, and then we move on from there?
If you, Nifemi Oguntoye, if you know that the judiciary is on strike, can somebody, for God's sake, in the PDP strategy room, please also tell those who are daily mouthing this issue to move to another issue because the judiciary is on strike. Because as an entrepreneur in this market, I want to be hearing how power will be regular with a view to making sure that some of the things I import today from Asia can be made in Aba because my brothers there can make them.
Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Please turn down the volume of your TV. Please turn down the volume of your TV set.
Good morning.
Yeah, what's your name?
My name is Chika
Chika, you're calling from where?
from NT Channel 10.
You're calling from NTA Channel 10. Where is that?
NTA Channel 10, Lagos.
In Lagos, okay. Chika, are you there? You know this is a national TV. When you're calling, just give us your state because I probably don't know every area in Lagos. But now, before we leave this issue, we must also bear in mind that all of these issues, we are opinion makers here. We discuss those things that are important for the sake of public education. As a professional, I am not partisan.
I know
I'm
you're not
supposed to be. But look at
I know you're not. I just hate the fact that we've been taken, we've been had. You know, to put it more blatantly, we've been fooled. Look, I've been on your set now for almost 20 minutes or more than 20 minutes, and Nifemi, we have not discussed any kind
If you're going to allow me, let us discuss a very important issue. Many are also...
Oh, so the one we were discussing before was
more
not very
important. All of them are important, no doubt. But I don't put the words in it now.
Oh, no,
but then, there are
well,
also people who are questioning the minimum qualification for political office in Nigeria. SSCE, many are saying that probably that's too low to go at this level of development.
You see, I am one who believes that if you are a Nigerian, in so much as you are literate, you can effectively communicate yourself, you can effectively, we've seen success about you before. Formal education criterion should not hinder you from assuming any office in Nigeria. You know why I'm saying that? I was in England when John Major was the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. John Major only had secondary school. Major only had secondary school leaving certificate. Amongst the places where he worked when he left secondary school was as a banker in Lagos, and he rose through the ranks to become, who he was. And we've seen instances. The most celebrated British Prime Minister in all the history of British Prime Ministership, Churchill was a secondary school failure.
Well, can you compare the quality of education of UK's secondary school with the quality? Do you agree that a secondary school leaving guy in Nigeria today has the potential to become the president of Nigeria?
Let me finish. And we still have in this jurisdiction, I will shock you if I give you some names of people in Nigeria who never even had formal education, primary and secondary school. And they self-tutored themselves, sat the exams, the requisite exams at home, and went up to become university professors. At least I know, and I don't know at all. I know about 3 in Nigeria who became professors, not having gone through the formal education system and self-tutored themselves at home. And you know what? The celebrated Chief Obafemi Awolowo wrote most of his exams as an external candidate. And many of the ideas we are celebrating about Awolowo today, although he had an equivalent of degrees in commerce and in law, but many of the ideas we are celebrating about Awolowo today were not original to Awolowo. Some of those ideas he fought when they tabled them in the Action Congress's strategy session. It was Ajasi who was a trained teacher who left Furabe and went for his masters abroad in the United Kingdom, and after the Second World War noticed that the first Labour government in the history of Britain brought in free education. He saw the importance of free education. It was Ajasi and one other gentleman who were members of the AG who tabled it. The first thing Awolowo was asking them, as a seasoned administrator, was, could we finance it? Most people don't know that Awolowo was one of the first set of politicians to be protested against by his electorate for wanting to tax women.
Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Welcome to Call Digest.
My name is Ahmed.
Ahmed, where are you calling from?
Hello?
Good morning, Ahmed. Where are you calling from?
My name is Ahmed.
I can hear you. Where are you calling from, Ahmed?
I'm calling from Fadi.
Fadi, where's Fadi? In Lagos?
Fadi is in Lagos.
Ikorodu.
Fantastic.
That might be a lot of father Izo. Go ahead, Ahmed, with your contribution.
I just want to say I like your program. You people should keep it on.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. So,
that's all I wanted to say. Okay.
Nifemi, within the context of the fact that we see a lot of slapdash, slapstick school leavers who can barely speak English, who can barely write English, and this thing, there are still people as we speak, who you would think they will end up as failures.
But can we discuss this issue relative to the new generation? Because all of the names you've been able to mention thus far are people, we understand what a secondary school, all those Form 5, Form 6 used to be relative to what it is now. We are looking at a situation where they say the youth are the leaders of tomorrow. Are you seeing a situation whereby a secondary school graduate can actually lead Nigeria in this present dispensation?
Nifemi, what was the age of Yakubu Gowon when he started leading Nigeria? He was in his late 20s, early 30s. What was the age of Olusegun Obasanjo when he started leading Nigeria? He was in his mid 30s. My brother, the first Nigerian High Commissioner to United Kingdom. Because I lived in England, I'm using examples, the first Nigerian High Commissioner to United Kingdom, Umbu, who just passed away. He was a boy of 22. He was a 22-year-old boy when he assumed his office in the Court of St. James. And he was also studying law as Nigerian High Commissioner. Huh? Are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
22-year-old boy. 22. You are more than 22. And in fact, at your age, I don't want to ask your age on national TV. At your age, Gowon was probably ruling Nigeria already. My brother, look.
My age is with the organization. I can swear an affidavit.
You can swear an affidavit to that. Look, what is important is we want somebody to approach us, give us his plan on how to solve our problems, and we ask him the hows. Because the problem in Nigeria today, the problem I've noticed in Nigeria today is that everybody will tell you, I will roads.
Let's take this call so that we can also talk much on other issues. Hello, good morning. Welcome to Call Digest.
Hello, good morning.
You're welcome. Go ahead with the contribution. What's your name?
Yeah, my name is Korede. I'm calling from Kwara, Ilorin precisely.
I didn't get your name from Kwara.
My name is Korede.
Okay, Korede is calling from Kwara.
Yeah. Actually, the program was very interesting one.
Okay.
And so what the speaker has been saying, the issue of body certificate shouldn't generate a problem within the PDP. We've seen a lot of things that happen in this sector. To the post of general, it means that it's not a joke. It has gone through some education background before they are saying it. But for them to say, for them to face what the problem.
Oh, are you there? I'm afraid we lost that. We're going to get back to that. Trust me, brother.
I want somebody to approach me and tell me that when the telecoms company take your money for calling, if you have drop call, they will recompense your money. I want somebody, because I'm giving the example that, you know what, in other jurisdictions, this is how they do. And I will enforce. I want somebody to tell me that, you know what, it's not because I want to do you guys a favor, but because I want to make sure that I leave a good legacy. I will make sure that I crack this issue. Look, I was reading the biography of Thomas Edison, and I discovered that the issue of light, public lighting, has been cracked as far back as 1870 something, and we are.
We're going to get there. Let's just quickly touch on some other issues. The paper in front of you, I believe, is the Punch. Explosion rocks Rivers APC office. Police station burned. Soldiers arrest 13 in Jos. The last time we heard of bomb explosion was about terrorism in northeast Nigeria. This time around, it looks as if the pre-election violence is taking its toll.
The two parties must actually call their supporters to order.
And what we have now is trading of words. Jonathan Buhari, opposition is desperate. That's what the president is saying. It's PDP on PDP violence, says Buhari, absolves loyalists.
You see, I am not a sleuth. I am not an intelligence person. All I know is that they should be very, very sober. The two of them, the two parties I mean, they need to be very sober. And the reason why they need to be very sober is that they don't want to so eat up this polity that, you know, they will end up, you know, having, any one of them who emerges the victor will end up having what is akin to a pirate victory. You know, this is a game of ideas. In other jurisdictions, it's a game of, in other polities, it's a game of ideas. You come, Nifemi, I want you to vote for Bola Oba because Bola Oba believes that in this, in your industry, these are the possibilities. You no longer have to be transmitting through the conventional TV. Technology is converging now. We'll put measures in place. And you ask me, what are you going to do given what I know to be the reality, and I'll be telling you this and this. It's a game of ideas. When people, you know, we are where we are anyway because majority of those who even support the two parties are people who, majority of the kids out there, no skills, you know, the market, they don't have a point of engagement with the market. And you know, the irony of life is that what ought to have been a demographic dividend for Nigeria is now a demographic deficit, and that is why you have youngsters. Any youngster who is going somewhere fast, who has a job to keep, or who's worked himself tired,
might not be a chance to participate here. But the amazing part, Bola, is that these two principals have been on the forefront of violence-free campaigns. It looks as if they are not matching words with actions, because one would have expected that no matter what the situation is, these two major players should have taken responsibility first for whatever is called violence in a political activity instead of trading words.
You see, it's unfortunate. And the two foresaw themselves to, you know, issue-based campaign, and less than one full week into the nitty-gritty of, you know, brass knuckle campaign season, we're seeing this. But you see, they must realize that if they lose it, people like us will still function. Yeah, to be honest with you.
Don't just go there again. Your
they
idea
must be
of
sober.
taking out of the country. Hello, good morning. Let's take this
They
call.
must be sober.
Hello, are you there? I'm afraid not. Keep trying. When you call it in, turn down the volume of your TV set so we can get a crystal clear communication. But what way forward at this time for Nigeria? Because we are looking at a situation whereby weeks to election, the first time campaign started in Oyo State, we keep talking about this. You recall the violence that characterized electoral processes there. It's also happening at the presidential level. Isn't that something to worry about?
But this is not the first time. They just need to change. They have to change the nature of the game. Look, in any respectable polity, politicians approach their electors, the electorate, with ideas. And for me, Nifemi, it is imperative to emphasize, accentuate the importance of the electors too, asking the right questions. Look, you may support Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, you may support Buhari, you may support whoever you want to support, but please, don't be fooled by the mob psychology or the ride with them sentiments of it's just support for supporting sake.
I see.
This is the time, the only time you have in the nature of how our constitution is designed to ask tough questions.
It's a party of our ethnic base. It's a party of our religion.
You know, for the first time in the political history of Nigeria, apart from the the 1993 elections that brought in, you know, the unfulfilled presidency of, for the first time, I want to believe that at least majority of the tribes now would end up voting for the person that will emerge as the president.
Okay.
Majority, not only people from his tribes or from his region alone. So because we now have a de facto two-party state.
Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Welcome to Call Digest.
Morning, how are you?
I am terrific. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Kaduna.
Can you go over that name again?
Dan Kuli
calling from Kaduna. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead with your contribution, Dan Kuli.
Yeah, the gentleman sitting there, I accepted what he's trying to portray for the continued peace and progress of this country.
Okay.
But we Nigerians, what we are after is change. Change from poverty, change from hunger, change from insecurity, which are basic facts. Any person living in this country knows we have this problem. So we are calling on the presidential candidates of the APC, PDP, to address these issues of change for insecurity. As the Commander-in-Chief of the Air Force of the Federal Republic of Nigeria,
Okay.
President Jonathan, sitting in that seat for almost 6 years, people cannot stand insecurity because we are dealing with Nigeria as a united country. Now he's coming back with some local government policies by this insecurity. Before he comes back for our boss, let him direct the Nigerian army to take over those areas. Then we know he's serious. And if they don't have manpower, let him go abandon news who are jobless. He can have enemies within the next 3 years in a special force which he can go into that area and fight those against. Anybody who cannot address the security of this country will not trust our votes to him. And we are calling on Nigeria to shine their eyes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dan Kuli calling from Kaduna.
My addendum to Dan Kuli's valid contribution is this. Don't just assume that General Buhari, because when I hear change, I know the direction that the caller is going. Don't just assume that General Buhari can give it. Ask him questions. The last time he was in government was 30 years ago. So many things have changed. Dan Kuli will agree with me that the face of Islam was not this bastardized. And I'm choosing my word carefully. The face of Islam, the universal face of Islam, was not this bastardized, was not this stigmatized by some very few heretical who have lost it 30 years ago. Am I making a point?
The challenges have changed.
The challenges have changed. We never had the internet then. It was only the US Army that had the internet then. Now it's a global phenomenon. We never had GPS then. We never thought, look, when Matasine erupted in northern Nigeria, it took less than 2 weeks to deracinate by the Nigerian army. But you know what? We are living in a changed world now. So people like Dan Kuli, who has a legitimate aspiration who has a legitimate expectation from anybody who will emerge to rule Nigeria, should ask the candidates tough questions, not just assume that anybody...
Right. Let's take this other call. Please turn down the volume of your TV set.
All right.
All right, go ahead. What's your name?
Larry from Akure.
Larry from where?
Akure.
Akure. Larry, go ahead with your contribution, please.
I appreciate our guest today, and he has already spoken well.
Okay.
And on the issue of about the presidential election, the issue that is affecting us must be addressed. They should stop drawing us back. We now have 2 presidential candidates, majorly General Muhammad Buhari and President Goodluck, who can really solve this problem of insurgency. Who is ready? I have listened to their campaign. I normally follow the campaigns, both PDP and APC. I know General Buhari is likely to be in the East today. Why President Jonathan is likely to be in Ibadan?
Okay.
I followed their campaign in total, and I could see that one of the presidential candidates is busy addressing issues, promising youth that he will give youth jobs.
Okay.
If they promise, that is a sign of hope. That is a ray of hope. The other person is not even talking about that. He's blaming, passing as passion of that have governed before. And I believe that it is not too late yet, because one of them had only been to 2 states, while the other one has been to about 7 states. So promising the people what he will do. So this president has been in 2 states. It's better he correct his way. If he goes on like this, Nigeria will not believe in him. Instead of asking for apology that he had not addressed the real issue in the past, and now try to convince us that we give you jobs. You will solve the problem of power, the problem of terrorism, threatening everybody. In fact, even among Muslims, if any young girl wearing hijab enter a house that person has never been to the place before, other Muslims will suspect such again. Even among Muslims, there is a division creating already. The division created between Muslim and Christian is too wide now. We never had it so bad. And I believe that anybody that really sincerely wants to solve our problem must be able to be addressing issue of insurgency and terrorism, issue of unemployment, which is cause of insurgency, because the Bible has made it clear that people find work for an idle man. So our sea of unemployed graduates is one reason. Look at the recruitment in immigration. Look at the scenes of aid. People are not happy. People want to hear something that they can hold on to, that can give them as a ray of hope. On the issue of certification or no certification, nobody can.
It's all right.
Because we want somebody that wants to solve our problems. It doesn't mean it's just like Mr. Okutoye now telling me that I am not educated. Will I run to my house and go and bring my paper? Oh, Mr. Okutoye, see my paper. It is childish. If the person say I am not competent, and the person go to court, it's fair. When the electoral court that has the responsibility of screening people say I am competent, my political party who is sponsoring me say I'm incompetent, why would I be showing my certificate to an opponent? It's just as if our opponent say I should need that one, we need that one. If you say opponent say I will sign up myself, so General Buhari did not need to show his certificate to PDP. He has stated clearly enough that affidavit is like it is a document. It is a legal tender. In fact, affidavit is even more recognized. Some of the certificates, the only certificate people are going about, if they see that what the referee wrote in that affidavit is not correct, let them go to military secretary. It's there with them in Abuja and verify. It's as simple as that.
It's all right.
So thank you very much for the program.
Thank you very much, Larry, for your contribution. Don't let us lose touch on where we're coming from. We're talking about the pre-election violence and all of these taking place at a time where the fight against insurgency is on the brim. You recall the attacks that transpired.
Nifemi, I don't want to be Jeremiah Kalia.
Okay.
I don't want to be a doomsday predictor. Yeah? But violence is almost inevitable in a polity where majority of the youths are unemployed and indeed are unemployable. I'm talking to you as somebody who was once young, who knows that the energy, the driving energy of that age range is better used by society when you give your youth skill set, marketable skill sets, and when you give them a vision of entrepreneurial likelihood of being fulfilled.
Are you being pessimistic?
I am not pessimistic. I am one who believes that some youths who don't have direction, who don't have vision, who don't have any gameful thing to do, will be amenable to some mischievous politicians
at this season.
But you know what? We better be telling the two leaders of the two main parties that it is not going to be to their beneficence if they do not preach order to all the members of their party, because whoever emerges in an atmosphere of chaos and anarchy would only have Pyrrhic victory. As I'm talking to you now, you know the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, in the last 2.5 or thereabout years, have never visited the northeast of Nigeria, Maiduguri and all this thing, because of violence. So, if they allow violence to fester around the polity, they will just become the president of Abuja.
Let's look at the capacity of leadership at both sides to contain this issue. Of course, the APC office was exploded or rocked by explosion.
Was allegedly bombed
by political thugs.
And the vehicle with the
explosives
picture of the president GJ campaign vehicle in Jos was also allegedly bombed by. According to we can only say allegedly because
speculations here and there. But at the same time, local authorities in Maiduguri have also confirmed that the suicide bomber that hit a market on Sunday is an underage girl. They came to this conclusion on citing the upper body of the suicide bomber that was detached from the main body.
No, I don't want you to be conflicting
the point
issues.
I'm trying to make here.
I don't want you to be conflicting issues.
Partisan
violence.
Hold on, Bola. I'm trying to reach a question. Just give me a minute. Is that what is the potentials of these two parties being able to contain this challenge? If they cannot first contain violence at this electoral process, we are talking of mainstream insurgency in Northeast.
And I need to let you know that although you are the journalist here, but when you are asking your questions, you must be asking it in such a way that you will not lose your audience.
How do you mean?
Violence is now presenting many faces in Nigeria. The burning of GEJ's vehicle, GEJ election vehicle in Jos, the bombing of APC's in a River State, those are violence born out of partisanship.
And I'm talking about.
I'm coming, sir. Let me finish.
am talking about taking leadership, making leadership responsible in that quarters.
My brother.
Vis-a-vis their capacity to win this war on the other side.
Let me finish. The idea of girls being nurtured by their parents, wrapped up with bombs to go and be bombing market, is a violence that is based on a global phenomenon of some elements within Islam misunderstanding the fundamental values of Islam and now articulating it in a manner that is inconsistent with the original preachment of the faith. You understand what I'm saying? Now, the issue of violence of those who claim to be fighting for Allah, who is omnipotent, the issue of that violence is global.
Now,
and I want to attend.
You are yet to understand my question. I'm saying that if political heads cannot contain violence within their loyalists, what confidence do we have that if they get opportunity to continue or to get a change, like some say, what confidence do we have that a political head that could not tell his loyalists not to do this can now curtail this global challenge you're talking about? That's the question.
Nifemi, the reason or reasons why human beings become cannon foders for violence, either as misunderstood by the elements who claim to be fighting for omnipotent Allah, or either as people who are looking for ephemeral material beneficence from partisan politicians. The factors are common in many respects.
Okay.
Give a young man, a young person, give him or her a good skill set.
Engage him creatively.
And let the person develop the aspiration that he or she is somebody who can be entrepreneurially fulfilled. You will dramatically reduce violence. You know, and I'm saying this because Nifemi, let me be closer to you.
Don't stand up.
No, I won't stand up. Nifemi, honestly, no, please, before you take that call, please. Nifemi, let's do this. I was born in Mushi in the midst of violence in the 60s. I grew up in Mushi in the late 60s, the 70s, and the 80s, when Mushi was defined with violence. You know why I am today opportune to be talking to somebody who is as intellectually polished as you? Because a single parent, a woman, felt this boy must not end up being a street urchin. She invested education in me. And once she invested education in me, at a point, I saw far bigger than her world. She was a trader in Awolowo market. She started buying me magazine, international magazine, Time and Newsweek, in 1977-78. I started reading about how entrepreneurs were taking the world over. I decided one day on a bed I was reading that I must also become a successful entrepreneur. When you change the vision of a young person, and the person sees a world that is bigger than the microcosm, the small world where his exploiter is, he'll be chasing that. So the first thing to do to deracinate violence in any respect is to get that young person to know that he or she is somebody through being relevant to the market space, and that the future is always there for him to chase.
It's all right. I understand your point of view, but it looks like a long-term prospect. But let's take this call
Nothing
first.
good comes cheap.
Hello, good morning. Good morning, are you there?
I'm there.
Yeah, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Inon.
What's your name, bro? Busari.
Babatunde Murtala, Ilorin.
Babatunde Murtala calling from Ilorin. Go ahead, Mr. Busari, with your contribution. I'm afraid we lost that. Are you there? What I'm trying to say is that, of course, lofty idea, if you engage the youthful energy in a very lucrative endeavor, they are not likely going to have the time and the interest in engaging in holding court classes and all of that. But how do we ensure this between now and February 14? Because politicians, I'm not sure that Buhari is ready to give anybody a job yet until he gets the power. How do we ensure that all of these youthful energy that are not yet engaged yet will not engage it in violence at this time?
Nifemi, I'm not here to sell snake oil, and I will not lie to me. You are like a brother to me. Nifemi, it would be very utopic for anybody to sit here and tell you that between now and February 14, we can solve this magnitude of a problem.
At least they can't talk to their people. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, we have enjoined them to do that.
Welcome to Call Digest.
Yeah, my name is Comrade Apache.
Comrade Afache.
Yes, I am the youth leader of Social Democratic Party in Anambra State.
Oh, from Anambra. Comrade, go ahead with your contribution.
SDP.
To a very large extent, I want to agree with Mr. Gola Ocho. He's made a lot of points. He's made a lot of contributions, a lot of insightful contributions.
Okay.
But there is this mistake we are Nigerians keep making. There is President Jonathan and there is Buhari.
Okay.
But aside from these two presidential candidates, we have about six to seven other presidential candidates. And the issue when it comes to security may not lie in Jonathan or Buhari.
okay,
I'm with you.
to other presidential aspirants, who might have better ideas on how to tackle insurgency. But because for my generation, I think I'm tired of hearing Buhari and Jonathan. We need fresh ideas. We need younger people. I am the youth leader of it.
Comrade, are you there? You were just about selling out your party.
Comrade raised... Comrade,
fantastic idea.
Afuche, Abi?
Yes, Afache.
Afache. He raised some very important this thing, but let me be very honest with him. In most polities in the world, I want Comrade to know that in America, there are about 3,000 political parties, but the two de facto political parties in America are the Democratic Party, the party of Obama, and the Republican Party, the party from this January controlling the American Congress, the two chambers of the American Congress. In the United Kingdom, there are parties in the UK representing local government interest. They are single issue parties. Clean your gutter party. I'm talking as somebody who practiced politics in England. I didn't go observe politics. I partook in partisan politics in England. You understand what I'm saying? But you see, the two de facto parties up until the wave of nationalism started gripping Europe now, where you have the UKIP now emerging as a party to be reckoned with, United Kingdom's Independence Party, and well, mainly two main parties and one Juru party. I call it Juru, Lib Dem, which is the party forming the coalition government now. As we speak now, the two de facto parties in Nigeria are the PDP and the APC. That, however, I must say at this juncture, that, however, does not discountenance the fact that there may be more brilliant individuals. I don't know if it's an Anambra or I think it's in Abia. Okay. The person who is contesting as the governorship candidate of the SDP, Comrade Akfashe's party in Abia, he's my friend. He's a lecturer at the Lagos Business School. And his intellectual persona, I must be very honest with you, if you give me Jonathan, give me Buhari, and if you give me that guy, I'll vote for that guy to be the president of Nigeria. But you see, in a popular democracy like this, the issue of resources also come to play. If you don't have it, you don't have it.
Does it have anything to do with the maturity of the electorate in decision making?
You see, the maturity of the electorate in decision making too is limited to, it's like what can you sell in a market? The size of a market sometimes defines what you can sell. Our electorate as we speak now, Comrade Afache rightfully pointed out a very important issue. But the reality now is that our electors, the electorate, have just been presented with two candidates now. The other ones are superfluities. I'm sorry to use that big grammar on them. You see, they are just, they are extras to a production.
Well, they might not agree with you totally if they listen to
but
you.
Hello,
good morning. Let's take this call.
Good morning.
Yeah, welcome to Call Digest.
Good morning.
Good morning. You're welcome. Go ahead with your contribution, please.
Thank you very much. My name is Abubakar, calling from Abuja.
Abubakar, calling from Abuja. Turn down the volume of your TV set so we can hear you clearly.
Okay. Are you hearing me now?
Fantastic. Go ahead now, please.
Okay. Thank you very much. I actually want to...
Oh my. I'm afraid we lost that, Abubakar. You might have to call us again, and if we don't have time to pick your calls, all you need to do is follow us on Twitter at Call Digest Live, where we can have all your comments.
These are some of the issues. Look, you don't even have to be...
dropped calls and all that.
You don't even have to be from outer space to let to tell people who are in a regulatory agency, when people buy telco calling cards, they have a reasonable expectation. Just give them their reasonable expectation because you are making profit in that industry. When we say we have sold NEPA or BSCN, give people light.
Let's take this last call. Good morning. Welcome to Call Digest.
How are you?
Morning,
Terrific.
sir.
What's your name? Who are you calling from?
My name is Olu from Ondo State.
Olu Bright.
Good morning. How are you?
Morning, sir.
We're doing fine, oh. Go ahead from Ondo.
My name is Olu Bright from Ondo.
Okay. Olu Bright, go ahead with your contribution.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
I've listened to your conversations this morning.
All right.
Hello. So all I'm saying is that please, I'm begging all these politicians to take it cool. So I want them to take it cool.
It's all right. That's the message, Olu Bright.
And it's a fantastic message.
Cool temper.
No, it's not something to be making.
No.
It's a very important point.
It is very important.
Yeah.
That's what we've been talking about.
Yeah,
between Mr. President and General Muhammadu Buhari.
The two main
We don't
candidates.
expect that they are trading words at this time when the lives of people are at risk.
And when we need to know their vision for Nigeria for the next 4 years.
I see.
And we don't want to be following blind people anymore. Let us be able to believe well enough in what I may not be speaking for any other elector, but me, Bola Oba, barring you people calling me here on election day, for the first time in history, I want to vote in Nigeria.
Okay.
I'm telling you, I want to vote.
But you don't have your PVC, have you?
No, I have registered.
Okay.
So we are the kind of people who continuous voters say this thing that they will bring our PVC.
You are so very hopeful.
Oh, that is another issue. I am at the point now where I believe that INEC has every opportunity on the face of the earth. Indeed, Professor Jega, let me personalize it now. Professor Jega has every opportunity on the face of the earth to either put his name to good honor forever in the political history of this country, given the revolution is trying to undertake, the digital revolution is trying to undertake, given the fact that we'll be voting with biometric this thing, which is not easily, that our politicians do, or he will leave his name in utter infamy if he fails Nigerians on this.
Amazingly, INEC says that it has already distributed close to 70% of the about 53 million.
It has to be independently verified.
Many are even asking that if we had 73 million registered voters in 2011, and we are saying we have about 70 million, how come we just have about 54 million PVCs ready out of about 70 million registered voters?
To be honest with you,
not to talk about people who have not registered yet.
To be honest with you, I am one, and I've been saying this for from the time of Anambra election to Ekiti's election to Osun elections. I am one who believes that as a result of the biometric verification of the authenticity of the registrants now, of the registered voters, it is not impossible that the names of the people on the electoral roll will reduce. You know why? Because in the past, politicians tend to beef up their areas with fictitious characters.
I'm being told to just take this last call, Bola. Good morning.
Morning, Abubakar calling back.
Okay, go ahead, Abubakar. Very quickly.
Thank you, please. I actually want, because all these politicians, none of their children are in Nigeria.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes,
we
are with you. We are with you.
None of their children are in Nigeria. I want the children and the parents of people that are currently in Nigeria to talk to their children, either employed or not, to talk to them in order to avoid all this violence.
Fantastic.
None of these politicians will give them money that will wage their life. Please, that is what the message I want you to take into the youth. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Abubakar. It's better you are alive and stay unemployed.
You know what? Sometimes, you know what Abubakar has just done now? Sometimes when you address an issue from the demand side, you will also look at the supply side. The point is that if there are no street urchins to be used, the politicians cannot send their money to go and be eating people literally. They will have to use the money to entice some frustrated youngsters to do it. And if you are a parent, know the whereabouts of your child.
Thank you
or your
very
children.
much, Goloba, for coming today. We still have about 30 more days to go. Enough time to discuss the elections as we count down to the February 14 Valentine's Day presidential election. A big thank you to Olumi. They called in from Suleja, Tochiku from Anambra, Tube from Akure, Chika called in from Lagos, Ahmed also called from Lagos, Korede from Kwara, Dan Kuli from Kaduna, and Larry called in from Akure, Busari from Ilori, Comrade called in from Anambra, Abubakar called in from Abuja, and then also Olubright. I think that was a very short and precise call from Ondo State. Well, thank you so much.
And we lost so many other calls.
And very many dropped
because of the erratism of the telecom system.
The next set of leadership.
And you say, and as they say in the industry, for every one call is about 1,000 who could have
participated.
So a phenomenon. Sure.
All right, that's it on Call Digest today. We'll be back, God willing, tomorrow. A big thank you to the production crew. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. Ebuloma Dekule will be back at the top of the hour with the news. Stick around. Don't go away.
You can now watch Core TV News live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to Core TV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click Core TV, leave a space, then news. Core TV News, a 24-hour news station.